Hi guys, it's Gina and I have a quick tutorial today about the Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher. I mentioned on one of my previous videos that I hate it that this thing does not reach 6 inches across the layout so that we could staple anywhere on the page we like. And I have a long reach stapler from Sparco. It looks like this. And this one, even though it's standard size staples, it will reach all the way across the 12 by 12 piece of paper. Let me show you. This is not 12 by 12, but it will reach. I can move this guide back and it will reach from one side of this 12-inch piece of paper to the other. So it's very convenient, except that the staples are normal size. So a lot of times we don't want the normal size staples, we want smaller ones. And that's why the Tiny Attacher is great, because it has the small staples, but it doesn't reach across the page. So pros and cons of both of the staplers. There is a way around it with the Tim Holtz stapler, and the commenter said, you can open the Tim Holtz stapler and then staple in the middle of your page. And yes, I knew that, but that sounds like work to me when I have that other 12-inch reach stapler. But then she mentioned that she had just purchased this stapler and she wasn't sure how to open it. So I thought that I would demonstrate that for her today and for anyone else that had any questions. So the first thing you want to do is, your Tiny Attacher sits like this. You want to just pull this bottom clip up and around. So it may get stuck on the very bottom. So it clicks in, you click it out. See, it's getting stuck on these things right there. You click it out, and then you may encounter a little bit of, this thing here could impede you opening it, but if you just pull this in a little bit here and open it up, it'll come right open. And then the whole point of this is to get this metal plate out of here so we can put staple to paper. So then you're gonna, this one's gonna take a little bit more strength, but you're gonna pull that bottom part open like that. And then you can pull this back down if you want, or you don't have to. But this thing will now lay flat like that, and you can keep this open too, but I tend to put it back here. And then you line up your stapler with your paper. And sometimes it's easier to do it. Yeah, let's do it this way. So you line up your stapler with your paper, and the other thing you want to know, and let me show you something else you can use. I have this In Stitches pokey mat that you can definitely use for this, but I also have a mouse pad that sometimes is better because it doesn't give as much. So here we go. We're going to line this all back up. And use a mouse pad, but you want to make sure that the surface underneath where you're putting your staples is soft so that the staples can go into that surface and not get stuck like on my craft mat. If I was to staple it down there, the craft mat would stop the staples. It's going to act just like this plate on the bottom of the Tiny Attacher, and it's going to curl those staples in. So you don't want that. So you want something soft that the staples will sink into as you're stapling. So we're going to use this like this, and say I want to staple this Z down. So I'm just going to take it, and you don't want to apply a lot of pressure because it'll cause your cardstock to bend, but just a little pressure, and you just staple that right in there like that. Now let me pull that up there so you can see it. So as you can see, now my staple is across my Z. My Z is not going anywhere. So I'm going to pull that back down and just show you in one of the things. So then you just lift it up, and then you have the open prongs on this side. There we go. Can you see them? You have the open prongs here. I'm going to learn this camera. It's only been a couple years, So you have the open prongs, and then the only other thing you have to do is put those prongs down. And there are two tools that you can buy that will help with that. Or you can use your finger, use your finger and put it down, but it's going to hurt a little bit, kind of pokey. I have this cheaper EK Success bone folder that works really well. It's got a flat end on it, and you can just put it down with that. And they don't lay perfectly flat, so don't expect that. But you can lay them down like that, or sometimes I use my, I don't remember who made this. Oh, yes, I do. We Are Memory Keepers. This is my brad setter. And if you use the brad setter, so then you just push the ends down with this end like you would do if it was a brad. Oh, my staple came out. Don't you love it when you're doing a tutorial and something goes wrong? And if I was, you know, a normal person, I would start this over, but I'm not going to. I'm going to show you what to do. This is real life. So my staple fell out. So what do? I have the option of stapling it again, but the chances of me getting this staple back in those exact holes is slim to none. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to thread the staple back through these holes that I've already made in the cardstock. There we go, like that. And now I just need to put a little bit more pressure on closing these. I didn't put enough pressure on closing those, the parts that hold the staple in on the back. I didn't put enough pressure on them to get them to close all the way, so they came right through my paper. And at this point, it's probably best to get off the mat. That's what I'm doing wrong. When you go to close the back ends of this, it's best to be off of that soft mat and have a hard surface, because then they go down better that way. And then there you have it. So now you have your Z in the center of the page attached. The Z is not going anywhere. See it? And then the other thing you can do is now you have these jagged edges. And I hadn't done this until I saw Tracy do it, but you have these now jagged edges on the back of your layout. And all she does is she takes a piece of washi tape and lays that washi tape over that, so that it kind of takes care of those staples getting caught on anything like that. So it just looks like this from the back and that from the front. So I hope this convoluted tutorial helps someone. And just to run through the stapler again, or how you put it back together, you're going to pull that part back up, pull this part back down, and click it into place, and then just pull that arm back down. So let's open it up one more time so you can see. So you're going to, let me move this stuff out of the way. You're going to pull this bottom part down and wrap that up around the head of the stapler. And then with a little bit more pressure or force, and watch your fingers, do not put your fingers over where the staples come out. With a little bit more force, you're going to pull that bottom edge off, wrap this back around, and then you are ready to staple anywhere on the page. There we go. Like that. So, I hope that was helpful. Let's put it back together. Let's put it back together. Up and down and up and down. All back together. And that's how you do it. So if you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll do my best to answer them. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.